Hi everybody, it's Alison. It's shortly after 1:30. I'm just going to do some general announcements now. It looks like some people are here, but we're still waiting on a good group of people. So I'm going to do our general announcements, then I'm going to share a couple of things before we start our video. So normal Zoom etiquette, please remember to mute your microphones. I think all of you already have, so thank you for doing that. This session is being recorded. We've made some progress in terms of getting all of the recordings to one person in our SELPA office, and now she is uploading them to our site. But because they're really large files and she's a lot of professional developments to go through, that is taking some time. So we're really sorry with the delay in getting that there, but reminder that there will be an email blast to everybody so you'll know when they're posted. So please hang in there with your patience with that. Otherwise, if you have missed a conscious discipline module, please do reach out to me, and I can add you to my team on conscious discipline. I have so many spots now. We've paid for an extended membership with conscious discipline through the SELPA. So I'm kind of adding people and tracking that. So please do email me. I'll put my email right now in the chat box if you've missed some, or if you want to revisit any previous module, please just email me and I will grant you access. If I start to get a wait list, then I'll let you know, and I may be checking in with you guys who've been on there for a while to see if you still need it. But sorry, I'm just looking at some chats. Oh, cool. Amber, I just saw your private chat. Thank you. So yes, so please do email me, reach out if you would like to get access to that. And then just remember, if you could watch them as soon as possible, I appreciate it. So I can just make sure that I have enough room for everybody who wants to do that. I also wanted to share with you the Padlet that I created for the Conscious Discipline series that has the kind of the manuals that Dr. Bailey provides for each e-course. And also there's like a poster series that you can kind of follow along with. Let me get you that real quick. Let's see. So there is the link for the Padlet. So that's the one that I'm just pulling, and let me pull this up and show you. So here is this Padlet with the guides for each session. So you can access that there. And then there is also, I wanted to share with you this Padlet that we created, Dr. Bucio, Rosy, and I created for our G.R.O.W programs. So in the G.R.O.W programs, which are our ED programs around the county, we run the G.R.O.W model in those programs. And we created this Padlet of studies, of articles, of books, and just different resources that Rosy and I have drawn from in order to create the program that we use in our therapeutic learning programs around the county. So I just want to share this link with you as well. Let's see. There we go. So there's the link for that Padlet also. Feel free to use that as a resource if you're looking for more information. It has here, you can see the Conscious Discipline Manual over here, and more information about different books and manuals that we draw from. And then it also has just a bunch of different stuff, articles on brain-based education, social emotional learning, growth mindset. And then here's one on conscious discipline. So these are a lot of the papers and dissertations that have been written using conscious discipline. So if you do want to advocate for it being used in a greater context and you need some more information to kind of back that up, that's a really good resource for you. All right, before we get started today, does anybody have any questions? You can type them. Nope. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay, awesome. So we can go ahead and get started. Our video today is 55, just shy of 55 minutes. So I'll play that now, and then just as usual, we will have time for a discussion afterwards. And this is our last module. So this is our last e-course on conscious discipline with Dr. Becky Bailey. This one is called Consequences. I just want to say thank you so very much for showing up for these. I've really enjoyed getting to meet a lot of the staff from across the county. This has just been such an added benefit. Well, I don't know about added benefit, but it's been an unexpected benefit, I should say, of COVID-19 and of having to deliver professional development in this manner that normally I would not have had the opportunity to meet a lot of you. So this has really been a bright spot during some really challenging times right now that we're all dealing with. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for your participation. Really appreciate it and value each and every one of you. Throughout this today, through the consequences module, feel free to be chatting in the comments, sharing thoughts, feedback, reactions, and then we'll discuss again at the end. All right, we'll go ahead and get started.
Each of us have made choices. We've eaten too much, drank too much, spent too much, or we do things we wish we hadn't. Sometimes we repeat those poor choices. Other times we make a commitment to change and actually follow through. This session explores that special something that makes the difference between harmful repetition and lasting change. In this session, we'll learn how to deliver effective consequences to children, asking them to reflect upon their choices, acknowledge the impact of those choices on others, and create a willingness to change. We will learn the 3 types of consequences and when it's best to use each one. And for those times when consequences seem not to work, we'll learn new approaches proven to foster progress. Welcome to session 10. We finally made it. The skill of consequences. Often this is where people want to start. Well, where's the consequences? We go through all these skills. Where's the consequences? Well, we're here. And the reason consequences is the last skill in conscious discipline is not because it's the least valuable. It's because it takes all the other skills to make it effective. All right, now here's how we're going to start. We're going to start with the Wish Well song, because we've been wishing well at the end of each session. This is our last session, and certainly we want to keep that energy going, and certainly for this one, especially help us keep an open mind, open heart, and let these consequences come, this skill come to us and be used in an effective manner in the right way. Okay, so here we go. It's going to be I wish you well, all through the day today. I wish you well, and then it's going to get a little faster. So everybody up. It's a very simple song. Then it goes, we wish you well. Okay, here we go.
I wish you well, I wish you well, all through the day today. I wish you well. I wish you well, I wish you well, all through the day today. I wish you well.
Same thing this time. We
wish you well, we wish you well, all through the day today. We wish you well.
All right, here we go.
We wish you well, we wish you well, through the day today. We wish you well, the day today. We wish you well.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Now, the power for the skill of consequences is the power of intention, one that we have been talking about all these sessions. And the power of intention says mistakes are opportunities to learn. And I want you to look up here. The icon for consequences is not a guillotine that we're going to put some kid's head in and slice it off. The icon for consequences is this maze. Like life, sometimes we make a choice and we end up here in a corner. We need to reflect, think through, turn around and go back out another direction. It doesn't mean we get over here and we're bad and we're wrong and we need to be punished. It's simply, oops, man, that didn't work. Let me reflect on my choices. Let me reflect on the impact of those choices on myself and others, and let me change directions and choose again. So in traditional discipline, the same kids, and I don't know if you've noticed this, the same kids get the same consequences over and over again. We actually have a name for them. We call them serial offenders. So there's got to be a story we're telling ourselves. You know, how do we keep sending the same kids to the office to get the same consequence over and over? We've got to tell ourselves something in our head. We've got to rationalize and justify this some way. We've got to say that these kids are a pile of poop. These kids are weeds. These kids are hard-headed, mean. I'm not sure what we're saying, but we have to say something. Does everybody agree? And I know I've watched teachers do this. They send the same kid out. They have to tell them something because that child has already lost every privilege known to humanity. That child has been suspended. That child's already received everything that possibly could be removed or something hurtful done to them under the law. What are we saying when they come back and do it again and we send them out again? We've got to be telling ourselves a story. And my guess, that story is not about positive intent because we couldn't live with ourselves. And the school itself has to be saying a story. And the people who watch this have to tell themselves a story to allow it to go on and on and on. So, 2 things to remember. 2 things. Discouraged children are disruptive. Disconnected children are dangerous to themselves and others. So if we just hold on to that, then maybe we're going to rethink this constant pull them out and throw them somewhere. Pull them out and throw them somewhere. The more disconnected they become from their family, from society, from each other, the more dangerous they are. Okay. So now all of us have experienced the consequences of our actions, have you not? I mean, I know I have. Because he's supposed to be this, oh man, once you experience that consequence, that'll change you. But let's just reflect a moment. How many of us have spent a lot of time hanging in or around the refrigerator? And we've paid that price. How many of us have maybe drank too much? And we did it more than one time. You know, it's like we had the consequence, something like that. So we've experienced the consequence of drinking too much, but then, you know, maybe we go, okay, I won't do it for a week. But I mean, we're back at it. Many of us have stayed up all hours of the night doing who knows what, right? We've experienced those consequences. But we've done it again. We repeated it. And I think the hardest one for all of us have experienced the consequence of yelling at those we love. We've done it. And that probably wasn't the last yelling episode of your life. So what makes some consequences repeatable and some consequences effective? Because all of you have done something and you've actually changed. You go, this is it. This is it. Enough's enough. Have you? Okay. So the difference between the two is that effective consequences asked us to take ownership. First of all, it was my choice. I did this. They didn't make me go out again. They didn't entice me so much I couldn't resist. It wasn't them. It was me. So I take ownership, personal responsibility for my choices and my behavior. And the second thing we do is we reflect. We reflect on the impact that consequence had on ourselves, maybe our health, and on those we love. Would y'all agree? Both those skills, taking ownership and reflection, come from this state. You have to be in your executive state. See, if we give kids a consequence and they're in a survival state, they're going to come back at you. They go, you might have won this one, but tomorrow's a new day, and revenge is a powerful skill. You might have made me go to bed because you yanked my computer away, but we haven't seen breakfast yet. Huh? You give a child a consequence in an emotional state, and they go, the teacher doesn't like me. Well, why did this happen? Well, the teacher doesn't like me. You're just being mean. You've always liked my brother better than me. It's true. Give a consequence in this state, and we have the opportunity of reflection, ownership, change, and growth. So with that, we're going to go through some myths and some realities of consequence, because we got to debunk some of our leeches that we're carrying around. Because once we get rid of those, then we can clear a path to learn a new skill. So we got to clear that path and get rid of some of these old beliefs that are kind of hanging on and like barnacles on us. All right, the first one is consequences happen all the time. Every choice has an inherent consequence in it. Every thought we think has a consequence on our physiology. Every choice we make has a consequence on ourselves and everyone else. We kind of think, well, that's my life and it's my choice and I'm not hurting anybody. And then we discovered secondhand smoke. It's like, well, maybe not. Or we think, well, my choices don't matter. And then Chernobyl's nuclear waste made it over here to us. We're going, well, maybe what we do matters and impacts a lot of people. So the effectiveness of a consequence is determined by our conscious awareness that it's actually happening. They're happening all the time. See, we think that there's something you make up. Consequences are made up by adults. They're like lightning bolts we grab out of the sky and throw and aim them at the heart of children. And they'll go, okay, I'll do my homework. We don't have to make them up. They're already there. We just have to be conscious of them. For example, the consequence of focusing on helpfulness is what? More helpfulness. See, it's always there, and they're not always bad. See, consequences got this bad name. All right, you want a consequence? Well, yeah, sure. Depends on what kind it is, because they are brilliant. The consequence of eating healthy food is, voila, let me show you. Huh? We also think that the consequence of an action is the result of the action. It's not. It's how you feel about the result. Okay, give you an example. So here we are, and if you've ever seen this, especially in the neighborhoods, this one's great. So you have, especially this often happens with boys, but now we're having more girls out there doing it too. So if you have a neighborhood where you can actually play in, you watch the kids and they'll take anything and make a ramp. It'll be cardboard. And you're watching them build this ramp. They got the little bicycle and they're like, hang. You watch them build this ramp, you think, oh my gosh, they're going to die. So they put all this junk together and they build it, and we think you're going to fall, you're going to hurt yourself, So we're already predicting it. So they get on their bike, run down that hill, up that ramp, fall on the grass. They get up and go, oh, let's build it higher. Because that was fun. It's not the fact that I went over the ramp with the bike. It's how I felt about it. I landed in the grass the first time. I'm good. I'm going to get 10 other people to do it with me. Okay, so then the second time you come down that hill, you don't bounce this way, you bounce that way, and you take all the skin off this side of your body. Now you're not that interested in that ramp anymore. So it's the consequence of how you feel about it. And for example, we always think, well, the consequence of not studying is that you're going to fail the test. The true consequence is how you feel about failing the test. Does everybody get that? That is crucial. So if you can go back to the beach ball, remember? If someone else is holding your beach ball and you don't have access to your own feelings, how could any consequence be effective? It can't be. Wasn't your fault to begin with. And if you have numbed yourself to your feelings because of the pain and the trauma you experienced, how do you feel about that F? I don't care. Now what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to take away this. I don't care. You're going to lose this. I don't care. We're going to call your parents. I don't care. And since we can use corporal punishment in the United States, in many, 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 many states, we're going to whip you. Go ahead. I don't care. So the true consequence is how we feel about the outcome, not the outcome itself. I'm going to do an example with that just to show you the difference. So I'm going to use Jenny. We're going to do a report card. So Jenny's going to be my child. Let me give you an example before we move on. So here, Jenny is my child. It's report card day. She's come home with a report card. And, you know, my job is to sign that daggone thing. And so I'm the parent. She's the child. You know, she's got a couple A's, couple B's, and the rest are D's, especially the D in art. So she's got some D's. So she kind of slithers in, and I'm going to do a traditional way and a conscious way. Okay, so we'll start with the traditional. Here comes. Hey, 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 hey. What? It's your report card. So? Well, let's take a look at it. Okay. I mean, you want me to sign it, right? You want me to sign it? It's not that bad. I know, but you want me to sign it. Yes. Okay, well, let's look. It's not that bad. A D in art. I'm telling you. A D I don't like in art. Doesn't matter. You got 3 Ds. It's not a big deal. You got 3 Ds. Those Nobody in our family has ever gotten Ds in their report card. You know, you're the last of 5 children, and nobody, even your brother, and you know he was hard. Even your brother, nobody has got grades like this. Well, I don't care. Well, this is not acceptable in our family. And you will not be playing soccer. You will not be doing any of that. And you will not be playing with your friends for a very long time. Now, soccer's done. I hate you. You have that right. I hate these grades. Okay. A. Now we'll do it again. So I'm going to do it how I would actually do it, or I'd pray I would if the time came. Okay. Hey, wait. Your report card. Mm-hmm. It's not that bad. I know, but you walked in kind of hesitant, and then you hand it to me, kind of turned your head down like this. Well, seems like there's the best. Oh, well, let's just take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, look. Got some B's. Got some C's. Oh. Man, you got some D's too. You got them in 4 subjects. How is that with you? I mean, look, here's a D, English, math, art. I thought you liked art. I don't really care about art. Art doesn't matter when it comes to school. Okay, so you don't care about the art. But how do you feel about the D's and the math and the English there? Is that okay with you to make a D? Well, I hate the teacher. The teacher doesn't like me. So it was hard for you with this particular teacher. And I can understand that, but I'm saying, how do you feel about
But she's
the
really
D?
a bad teacher. You don't
Yeah.
understand. She's really bad.
I get it. But how do you feel about making a D? I get that. I've had some
Well, it's
bad
not what I
teachers.
wanted.
So what I'm hearing you then, and the way you walked in with your head down and stuff, is that these Ds don't feel good inside you.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No.
So you would want to make those grades get higher, even if the teacher was a little difficult.
Yeah, if I can do the work, I don't understand it. I mean, she never really explains it very well.
So if you had help, so what I'm hearing you say is you don't like these Ds and you need some help.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we're going to do is you have a choice now. You can start working on a plan to get the grades up and the help you need by yourself, or we can sit down together and work on a plan to move these grades up a little, giving you the help you need. Would you like to work on it by yourself, or would you like me to sit with you?
I want you to
All
sit
right,
with.
let's go over here and work on a plan.
Can you come talk to the teacher?
I will help you find your voice so that you can share with that teacher.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work, I'll come.
You're
with
not
you.
going to walk out on me. You're going to sit right with me.
I'll be right with you. We're going to
Okay.
go do it now.
Okay.
Here, take that. Did you see the difference? I asked her how she felt about it. And because she didn't feel good about it, then I used that as a motivation to change. And you can say, oh, yeah, but what if she'd say, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care? Then I would have hooked it to something she did care about. And then I would have not yanked it away from her. I would have used it as the motivation. Okay, you don't care about these Ds, but you have to maintain Cs to play soccer. And I know you love soccer. Well, yeah. Okay, that plan by your, or do you want me to that plan? And what if she says, I don't care about soccer, I don't care about anything? Well, do you care about your friends? Because they're going to go to the next grade, and there's a good chance you're not going with them. Well, and then you'll be there with what you call the little kids. Well, I care about that. Okay, fine. You want to make a plan? You want me to help you make a plan? Do you see what I'm saying? What we're trying to do is let me find out what you love and yank it from you. First of all, we don't ask them what they feel about it at all. I'll tell you what you should feel. I'll grab your ball right out of your hand and start hitting you with it, as opposed to finding out, what are you holding? Does this make sense? Okay. The next one. There's a big difference, as you know, about consequences and punishments. And most of us call them just different words. See, we never got away from punishments. We just called it, oh, you know what? We're not giving punishments anymore. You know what we're doing? Consequences. I'm like, smells like a punishment, sounds like a punishment, feels like a punishment, but our new word is consequences. I get it. Punishments, the intent is for you to feel bad, not feel what you're feeling, feel bad. Consequences is, the intent is to help you learn from your mistakes. That's the intent. Here's how you can catch yourself. Intention follows attention. Okay? Intention follows attention. We like to say, oh, my intent was just to be helpful. And I'm like, let's rethink that. If your attention is focused on what you don't want, if your attention is focused on the negative, your intention is also negative. If your attention is focused on what you want, your attention is focused on the positive, your intention is positive too. So here's what we do. We focus on the negative and then go, well, my intention was to be helpful. I'm like, okay, you're kidding yourself. And we kid ourselves like that. So that's a way to double check yourself. And here's the next one. Consequences do not teach. They motivate. Say that with me. Consequences do not teach. They motivate. They're designed to be motivators. They don't teach you anything new. They motivate you or demotivate you to learn something new. So the effectiveness of a consequence is how willing you are to take responsibility for what you've done. And if we don't hand them the beach ball, constantly. You can see where assertiveness comes in here. You can see where composure comes in here. Encouragement comes in here. Choices comes in here. Empathy is essential because if you're not holding that ball, we're all messed up. And the last one is the most difficult part of consequences. Isn't consequences themselves, it's the mouth you get after you deliver them. It's simple to say, okay, we're going to go in here and you're not going to get any candy. Okay, we're not having candy. We're going to go in. You have a choice between these nuts I bought you or this marshmallow. That's all I could pull out right now. You get nuts or a marshmallow. But when we go to the grocery store, no candy. Okay, you got it, right? Nuts or marshmallow. Everybody understand? You know, little kids go understand. Yes, I understand. Okay, so we're going to go through the little checkout. You can have your nuts or your marshmallows. We zoom through. I pay out. We go on through. No candy. You really got it. Yeah. Okay. Kind of tell me what we're going to do. We're going to go right through, and I'm going to have nuts or marshmallows. I got it. And you get into that grocery store. Can I have some candy? No. Nah! You know, the first thing when it says, you knew exactly what was going to happen. So it's that mouth afterwards. Okay, so with that, let's go through these. Now, there are 3 types of consequences, all right? The first one are the natural ones. Most of us are familiar with that. The natural ones happen without any prearranged help on our part. You go outside and it's freezing and you don't have a coat, you get a little cold. You put your hand on the stove, you get burnt. Now, here's what I want you to hear, and it's important to hear it. Natural consequences are very, very, very powerful in motivating you to want to learn a new skill. You burn your hand one time on that stove. For those of us who use curling irons, you burn the back of your neck one time, you're like, oh, honey. Do y'all have a different iron? I mean, we need to work this. Y'all, how about a flat iron? I'm gonna try to learn something new. I mean, I'm open to a new way. The same thing. So they're very powerful in wanting to learn a new skill. The most powerful. Now, what we've done in school and in home is we've removed all the natural consequences because of this. Mindy, would you come up? So if we're just in the world at large, the natural consequence of Mindy pushing me is me to push her back, right? I mean, to some degree. The natural consequence of Mindy calling me a name, stupid, horse poop. It kind of goes with the marshmallow thing. But those are kind of the natural consequences to some degree, right? So to avoid all this nonsense happening in a social setting like school, we took them all out. So if she pushes me, okay, go put your name on the board, go move your clip, go do all this. We made them into logical consequences, ones we prearranged. So, but what happens, there's a big difference. See, a natural consequence, push me. Okay, a natural consequence is the most powerful moment to want to learn a new skill. So what we've done all along with all our skills in conscious discipline, we've added natural consequences back into the classroom. So people say to me, oh, where's the consequences in conscious discipline? We put them all back in. So push me. I don't like it when you push me. If you want my attention, you use my name. It's Becky. See, I took that and I'm using it. So if I start doing this in their hair, she says,
I don't like it when you're playing with my hair. If you want to see it, you can ask me. Mindy, can I see your hair?
see? So we're taking that and making all those natural consequences. Thank you, Mindy. And the kids are dying for them. But what we've done is we take out the natural consequences, and then we've done these specific prescribed lessons with a puppet or a video on Friday again about how to be helpful or be nice or respectful or how to have responsibility. And then the puppet does this and you do that, and it's 30 minutes. And then we go, all right, now shut up and put the book away. All right. Imagine we have, take your hands like this. Okay. So natural consequences, this is a bag you have. And right now, if you look in it, it has no bottom and it's empty. Natural consequences motivate children to take a skill, learn a new skill, and put it in their bag. So motivate you. I'd like to know another way to get that toy besides pushing. I'd like to learn another way to get your attention besides yanking. I'd like another way to get a turn without throwing you on the floor. Everybody got it? So we're just putting skill, 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 social skill, social skill. We're filling up their basket because they're so naturally motivated. Logical consequences are a whole different ballgame. Logical consequences are the ones that we prearrange and make up. I'm going to make up a logical consequence. And we've said, okay, if you're going to make them up, make sure they're respectful, related, reasonable, etc. Okay? Remember, consequences do not teach, they. Okay? Y'all were so close. We're going to try it again. And those listening, say it out loud. Consequences do not teach, they. Motivate. Yeah. So, natural consequences motivate to learn a new skill. Got it? Logical consequences are designed to motivate you to use a skill you already have. Or don't use a skill. So imagine we've got a backpack on our back now. And these are all the skills we have for a certain situation. So I'm going to give you a reward if you'll use one of those. I'm going to punish you if you use that one next to it. You use that one, I'll punish you. So you have to reach into your backpack and find a skill you already have and use it. Does that make sense? So let's try that. So logical consequences say reach back and motivate you to use a skill you already have. Natural consequences motivate you to learn new skills. Fill your basket. Okay. Now, if we get rid of all the natural consequences, so you've not filled your basket. 2 years old, you push someone, you set in timeout. 3-year-old, you'll be in timeout. By the time you got to 4, now your apple fell off the tree for the same skill. By the time you got to 5, you moved your red light to the green light or to the red light or whatever. By the time you got to middle school, you're getting demerits and you're in suspension, and by then on, it's just a downhill. But it started at 2 when you push someone and you set in timeout, and now you're 23 years old and you pushed your wife and now you're in jail. Okay, so you can see I never learned another skill. They asked me to use the one I already had. I pushed, I pushed, I pushed. Now, because we're not using any natural consequences, we're not filling that up with anything. All right? Are y'all still with me? Everybody's making sense. Okay. Now, here's the deal. You have to be willing to do this. So, connected children who don't know the skill are very willing to learn a new one and add one to their bucket. That's why we create the school family, because it bonds. So then we don't have children go, well, I don't care. You know why they don't care? Children say, I don't care, are really saying, no one is cared for me enough. But in a school family, we don't throw you out. We keep bringing you in, bringing you in. We're we. So we don't have that excuse in a school family that says, well, I don't care. Oh, sure you do, because you're part of us. So they all care. So I've eliminated that problem with the school family. I've added natural consequences, so I've got connected kids who are motivated, and so they're learning skills all day long. Logical consequences only work for connected children who already possess the skill. Do y'all hear that? Now think of who gets sent out of the office all the time. First of all, they're disconnected. Second, they haven't had a skill since they were 2 years old. No one's taught them. So we're giving logical consequences, suspension, loss of privileges, calling your parents, doing whatever it is. We're giving logical consequences repeatedly to disconnected kids who don't have the skills. And the only way logical consequences are effective is for kids who are connected, who have the skills. And that's why they keep going. And that's why they keep getting more and more discouraged, more and more disconnected until somebody comes back and either shoots themselves or shoots others. We know how to deliver the natural consequences. We're going, did you like it? You wanted. Did you like it? You wanted. Okay. Now, how do we do logical consequences? How would we do that in a more maybe effective way? So we've got a connected child, and we know they have the skill. You know why? Because they've been with me 2 years. I know I taught it to you, right? You know the skill. You're in my school family. You're connected. You know the skill. Now it's time. Okay? I know it because I was there for the whole thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to give them a choice. I'm going to say, you have a choice to sit at this table and work with your friends with your eyes on your own paper and stay at the table. Or you can scribble on your friend's paper. You're going to remove yourself. You're going to get up and walk over, and you're going to sit over here and finish your work so that you're safe and everybody else is safe. Do you understand what will happen if you scratch on their paper again? You do? All right. Jenny, tell me what will happen if you write on Mindy's paper again.
You're going to take me to another place to do my work.
You're going to come over here and do your work
Right.
so that you're safe and everybody else is safe. I turn my back. She does it. Okay. Then I'm going to say this with me. I see by your actions. Say that.
I see by your actions.
You are choosing.
You are choosing
To work over here.
to work over here
By yourself.
by yourself.
So you're safe and so is everyone else.
So you're safe and so is everyone else.
That's pretty cut and dry. But the real problem starts now. Okay? I can see by your actions you're coming over here.
She wrote on my paper first. You didn't even see that. She wrote on my paper. Aren't you going to get, why doesn't she have to go somewhere?
You seem frustrated. You were hoping that it would turn out differently, that this one would turn out differently. And it is hard. I can see your frustration. Here's where you'll do your work right there. You can handle this. Breathe until you'll be safe, and so will Mindy. Did you see what I did? I gave her back ownership. Now, she's not sitting here thinking, mean teacher hates me. I didn't leave her in that lower state. I brought her up to the higher state, then helped her with the consequence, handling it, so she could reflect on it and hopefully make some changes in her life. Thank you, Jenny. Now, we could have done like we normally do. Could have said, Jenny, I could have set this whole thing up beautifully. And Jenny would have started. I said, Jenny, you're going to move over here and go there. So start with me.
Yeah, but she
Don't you?
On my paper. She colored on my paper.
You
first.
worry about your own self.
But you always listen to her. You never listen to me.
You are always listening to, and I set it up. I told you what was going to happen. You knew
Yeah, but
exactly
didn't
what
see
you
her.
said
You did
back
not
what was
see
going to
her.
happen.
This is so-
You sit
not
there.
It's
All
not
right, do you
fair.
want to leave this room? Someone push the button for that's it. The principal's over there running the camera. Have you seen that happen before? So we're going to work this example together. So child is poking friends at a table. I know for a fact I have taught them to say, may I have your attention? Would you like to play with me? I know they're connected because they're in my school family. They have the skill because I've taught it over and over and over and over. I've gone way past 2,000 times. I know this for a fact. And now here we go. So Jenny's over there poking at the table, and I'm going to start with, you have a choice. Say that with me.
You have a choice.
You can choose to
Keep your hands to yourself.
and
Continue playing at this table.
Or you can choose to. So you are safe and so is everyone else. I set that up beautifully, right? I turn around, she pokes, and she's going to either give me some mouth about it wasn't me, or she's going to go, just give me one more time, please give me one more time. I won't do it again. I'll never do it again. I'll be good. None of those matter to me. I give the ball back with my empathy. And she sits over here. Let's do one more of an older one. And this is a homework with lots of mistakes on it. Lots of mistakes. You didn't check your work. So, and I know you can check your work because I have taught editing over and over. I had a tutor with you. I know you can do it. I know you're connected because you're part of my school family and you're adored and beloved. And here we go. You have a choice. You can choose to correct your mistakes and improve your grade. Or you can choose to turn it in as it is and receive an F. Take a moment before deciding what's best for you. And then here comes the mouth. But I'm prepared because I've practiced that other skill and I keep handing her the ball back as many times as I need to so that she can hold that ball in her hand so she can stay in this state, so she can reflect. She has ownership and responsibility. She has the opportunity for reflection in this state in hopes that this will be a learning opportunity instead of a miserable punishment that she's going to sit there and go, I hate school, I hate teachers, and you know what? I hate math too. Now, disconnected children. None of what I said will work until we start back down here at the bottom, using the skills of NARC, noticing, assertiveness, routines and pictures, composure, safety. Then we have all the skills of connection, the rituals, the encouragement, the jobs, the empathy, choices, the school family. We start bringing that child into all that. Then we can offer positive intent. Then we get to consequences. Because without a ground like this, everything falls apart. What happens if we take the safety out? Everything collapses. So for chronic problems, you need problem solving. They will not respond to consequences. And in that problem solving, you're thinking, oh, which of these executive skills? Maybe it's attention, impulse control, organization, prioritization. Maybe it's flexibility. What are these executive skills is the child missing? And let's brainstorm how we're going to help them be successful with them. So the brainstorming isn't about just a simple, and how are we going to help the child be successful at this? We look that way and we make up a plan, and each little step they make, you did it! We celebrate, we encourage. When they oops, we offer empathy. When they get distracted, we offer choices, but we're always calm and focused on what we want till that child crosses that finish line, throws down the football and goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Each skill has a structure. The structure for consequences in the conscious discipline philosophy is class and family meetings. So you can get together, just like I said, and brainstorm things that would help them be successful, involving the child in that discussion, or children in that, in shared power, and coming up with things that you can do. So if you look up here, in a conscious discipline, this isn't a classroom, it starts with my job is to keep you safe, your job is to help keep it safe. Then we go down with the 2 positive choices for our rules and the no. So if a child is now not being helpful, what could you do to get back in the game? Not this is your first warning, this is your first warning. Count this as your first warning. Then let's say I'm not ready to be helpful right now. In conscious discipline, say, okay, then go to the safe place, calm yourself down, organize yourself, come back, and then choose to be helpful. In traditional, this is your second warning. This is your second warning. So in one class, we got a child with their second warning. In another classroom, we got the child sitting in a safe place. When they come out of the safe place, they get that same choice to be helpful. But let's say now the child refuses to be helpful, refuses to go to the safe place. We're not going to start yanking stuff around because they don't feel connected enough. We're going to start our intervention, our behavior plan here and work on the safety and connection. Then after we get that in place and this starts to work, then after all that, we'll start taking stuff away or we'll do some logical consequences that work once we know you're connected and you have the skills that you need to be successful. So that is the big picture. Now, let me go back and let's review. The survival state says, am I safe? And there's some skills we need, composure and assertiveness are the big ones, but all the skills of NARCS are going to help you here. The limbic system, the emotional state says, am I loved? So we have skills for that. We have encouragement, choices, empathy. But we have a more collective set called reject that includes the jobs and the rituals and stuff. That'll help here. Then finally we get here and we say, oh, now we have the skills of positive intent to keep you hanging up here. You might be hanging on a cliff, but you're up here. And the consequences so that we can deliver those to you so you can reflect and have ownership. And I might have broke this off. Let's see if I did. I did, which works out perfectly. So I can hold it just like this. And these come under the name space. So a constant, vigilant focus on solutions, positive intent, again, assertiveness, but assertiveness for the child. Constantly focus on assertive child. You wanted this, tell them that. You wanted her to move, say move, please. Teaching assertiveness skills to aggressive children. The C is for the consequences, knowing which type of motivation do you want to do. It's not about which type of consequence do you want to give. It's the child you work with. So if a child is connected but hasn't a skill, I'm going, oh, I know what to do. I'm going to give a natural consequence. I'm going to teach them the skill. If a child doesn't have the skills and is disconnected, I'm going to work with how to get the child in the school family. Maybe I'm going to have to make a smaller group because they can't get connected in size of 20. Maybe we need to have a breakfast club or a lunch club or something to get them connected. And then the last E is those executive skills that come from this state. We have what's called an executive skill lending library. And you can go, oh, I think the child's missing attention and impulse control. You can go find that under the lending library and it'll give you strategies of what to do to help them. And if you think about it, conscious discipline is about becoming aware of the consequences of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Since we started from session 1, that's all I brought to your attention, to become aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And once you become aware of them, you then can either choose to change them or keep them. You can't give to children what you don't have. And there are no consequences without consciousness. And thus the name conscious discipline. I want you to watch, it's a journey. It's a journey for all of us, and it's a journey that really doesn't have an end. It's a journey of perpetual growth. But I want you to watch one child's journey. This is Nathaniel's journey, who started in one school and was suspended 20 or some times, moved into a conscious discipline journey, and watch him explain his journey and how quickly he moved through it. Watch Nathaniel's journey as you reflect on your own.
Hey, Nathaniel.
Hey, Miss Oliver.
Do you remember how we met?
Got into a fight.
You had gotten into a fight. You want to tell me a little bit about what happened at your other school?
Yes, ma'am. There was two kids who was bullying me, and I told the teacher all the time, but all of us got suspended, and they got suspended too. And then I told my brother about it. He got mad, so he taught me how to learn how to fight good. So that when I started bullying them back, it's see how they like it. So they didn't like it. We always fight. We fought in the cafeteria, the classroom, fought outside. Fought in the PE room, fought in the music room, fought in everything in the school.
Where you were suspended. You told me so many times you couldn't even count, probably over 20. That's how you were taught to solve your problem, was to fight. So, and then I know that you left that school and you came to Berry. So what happened different at Berry when you got into your first fight here at Berry?
When I first got into my first fight, I didn't got suspended like my other school because I just wanted to go stay home for 3 days. But here at Berry Elementary, after we finish our work, we gotta go ask our teacher for more work until it's time to go home.
Did you go into any classrooms and do anything with the little kids?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did you do over there?
We kind of helped the teacher, and then we had some free time to play
with the kids in the classroom? So you gave back of service is what you did. During your in-school suspension, you met with her to talk about how to handle
my control, my behavior, and my anger issues by breathing.
So I know that toward the end of the year, you hadn't gotten in trouble at all last year. You had a great ending. So it's a new year. How's it going this year?
This year is going pretty good.
Good. Have you been in school suspension or anything this year?
No, ma'am.
I heard that you've been chosen to be something special. What is that?
Being in the NFL.
So you've been selected to be a conscious discipline ambassador.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're going to talk about the structures of conscious discipline in your classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
So what a big honor. So you come from being kicked out of school all the time to coming here, just getting in trouble a few times, but working through it, to starting a new year, not in trouble at all, and now you're a conscious discipline ambassador. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations.
So that's Nathaniel's journey. And my hope is that yours is just as successful as his. So don't forget, we have the Schubert books that deal with the consequences. So this is Schubert Rants and Raves and Sophie Rants and Raves. This is the last time of our series. And we're going to do something a little different this time. I will hold your commitments, all the promises we have made to ourselves throughout this series in this video. I'm going to hold it in this box, but I want to hold this box in my heart. And my heart is the best place for it because I have learned that skill called forgiveness. So when we make mistakes, we can forgive ourselves. And if you're not ready to forgive yourself and laugh about it, I will hold it for you, and I will hold that space, and I will forgive and laugh for you. Because it is a journey and you can't take it seriously. You have to go, oh my gosh, look how funny that is. So be gentle with yourself. So our final commitment for this whole series is the conscious discipline commitment to remember our worth. And I would love for you to join me and read this together. And it's going to start with I. Ready? I dedicate time to becoming a more conscious, compassionate person. Willingly, I provide safety, support, and structure for the children in my care, remembering always what I offer to others, I strengthen in myself. May I never forget that my worth depends on seeing the worth in others. And if you look at the letters in purple, it says, I will remember my youth. I wish you well on your journey. I hope you laugh through it. I hope you make so many oops that it's just a hysterical story that you can tell anybody that wants to hear it. But I do hope you're motivated, inspired to use the skills and the knowledge presented to keep moving, even if it's just one teeny inch at a time. Know that the rest of the world is cheering for you. Until I see you again or we meet in person, I wish you well.
All right, everybody. It's a little bittersweet coming to an end with this series with you guys. I do want to open it up for discussion though with all of you. What were your thoughts, feelings about that session?
Hi, Alison. It's Charmaine. You know, when she was going through her little skits with her helper, and yelling at them about what they did or did wrong or didn't do right, it reminded me of my math class in junior high and how humiliated and embarrassed and I just wanted to crawl away and hide somewhere when my teacher would talk to me, because he had no respect for anyone really in the classroom, but particularly me, because he didn't like my brother who he had previously. And so he just kind of took that out on me too. But it made me not like math. And for years I didn't like math. And just figured I wasn't good at it because I didn't know how to do it. No one really helped me. Right. But it was really all happened in junior high with that teacher. And so the feeling of anxiousness and all that, it just kind of like all of a sudden came back. And I could totally relate to a kid in a classroom being talked to that way nowadays. And then you compare it to the methods that she's teaching. What a huge, huge difference. And just eliminating the anxiety for a kid makes them more willing to do better, I would imagine.
Right. Absolutely.
Besides all that other good stuff,
Right.
It was good. It was very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Charmaine. And yes, thank you, Mary. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing that personal example, Charmaine. I think you can see just the contrast and what it would have been like for you to get more of that coaching and acceptance as opposed to that punishment.
Yeah.
Anybody else have some thoughts? Looking back through our comments.
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just loved, I came in late, sorry, we had some craziness.
No problem.
But I'll email you about the beginning part of this video. I have just enjoyed this series so much. But I loved the child, somebody put in the comments about seeing his face, the child who is now the conscious
ambassador. Yeah.
I almost said CEO. So that was excellent. And I love the idea of making kids leaders. You can make them leaders of so many things, even if it's not something, big like ambassador, but to make them a leader of something feels really good. So that was awesome.
Yeah, you could see how proud he felt of himself. Because he's probably never been put in a position like that where he's been recognized in such a positive way.
Hey, Alison, this is Deborah. I like the aspect of the stressing choice, because it seems a lot of times with students that we work with, it seems that the conflict comes from a wanting to extend control over a situation, and so letting the individual know that they have a choice and that they already have that control is,
Right.
I think, really powerful reminder to them that they are the ones who are, creating their own destinies.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you work with high school students too, so it almost feels more essential. A lot of everybody across the age span, we need to have some sense of choice. But I think with this module, what sticks out to me in regards to that is that we really need to make sure that we have that foundation built, so we have the safety and the connection before we can move on to the consequences piece. However, hopefully, as we're building that, right, and we can get to that, and we can start using logical consequences, that is helping prepare our students for real world, right, for when they're getting jobs. And if they talk back to their boss, they're going to be fired. If they don't show up on time, if they're disrespectful to patrons, they're not going to keep their job. Those kind of skills that they need to learn in order to be a functioning member of our society, because there are consequences, right, to our actions in the real world.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful to sometimes do the executive functioning skill of thinking, pulling all the pieces together, because sometimes my students will say, I just didn't think about that. I made this decision, but I kind of forgot that that's
right.
That's what was going to happen. And I said, yeah, that happens. And also, when they make a decision that's maybe not the most beneficial to them, I think it's really helpful and to be there to support them with picking up the pieces afterwards, because they don't have a lot of experience with what it's like to have that natural consequence follow.
Yeah.
So, and it can be anything from, I used up all my money, and then within the first 2 weeks of the month, and I didn't have anything to get myself to the end, or I said something to a girl that was kind of rude, not realizing that she was the cousin of the girl that I really wanted to ask out, or so sometimes life experience when you're the older person can help them to see things that they haven't considered.
Absolutely. Thanks, Deborah. I see somebody wrote, let's see, where was that? Catherine Steiner, I think you had said you are safe and everyone else is safe was kind of rubbing you the wrong way, but you couldn't really put your finger on it. I don't know if you're still here and you want to kind of elaborate more on that. Did anybody else have a reaction to that statement?
I did too.
Yeah. And for you, Kathleen, was it also kind of just didn't feel right?
It didn't feel right because, like she was saying, that all the kids are safe because I have been removed from their presence. So I'm hoping I misunderstood that. They're safe because I have been removed.
So you think that could be kind of shaming for that student?
Yes. Yeah, it didn't feel right.
Does anybody else have anything to contribute to that?
I do. I think maybe it's the wording. And I actually came in late, but I get the gist. I believe I get the gist of what was said was that once the child was removed, telling the class, is that correct?
No, it was more in the moment. If the student, it's giving them two choices, saying, like, if they're working at a circle time and the student's drawing on someone else's paper, saying, you have the choice to either sit here and do your work and just draw on your own paper, or if you continue to draw on your friend's paper, you're going to move to a different table so that you're safe and everyone else is safe.
And I think, given the light of what's going on in our nation right now, I think that I have a raw
reaction to that.
Yeah. So I think that might have had something to do with it. And I think the wording may need to be,
yeah, I don't disagree. I think that I think this is something, again, that it's good to kind of question and feel what feels right for you, what doesn't. For Brianna, you're saying it felt kind of patronizing. Yeah. So I would with all of these skills, I would really talk amongst your colleagues who you work with, kind of process them and see which ones are fitting for you, right? And if some aren't sitting well, then how can you get the idea behind it and then make it something that feels genuine for you and that you're okay with using, right? It doesn't mean that everything is gospel and that we need to follow it verbatim. You should always be questioning. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds like a great idea, the what you just said. Teacher, I'm moving you to this desk for now so you can focus on blank, you know, instead of using the word safe. But yeah, maybe moving it more so that you can focus more on your own work, you know, and your friends can focus on theirs. So taking that safety piece out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allison, I also liked what she said at the end, just to always be aware of my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. Because I think that's so simple, really. If we can remember that, I think it will help all of us to recall these things that we've learned.
Yeah.
So maybe if we kind of devise a formula for remembering, you know, it will help us in the moment. Like she was saying, you know, she hopes in the moment she says the right thing. You know, I don't know how many times a day I feel like that.
Yeah.
But
right.
What else was I going to say about that? Oh shoot, it's gone. Anyway, I thought that was really helpful. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I devised this memory thing for myself because when I can't remember someone's name, I'm like, oh no. So I kind of run through the alphabet in my head really quick if I like see them approaching or if I have time for this. And almost all the time, I can recall their name just by visualizing the alphabet. And then their name comes to me. Otherwise, I'm like, there's been many years where I didn't have a method to use. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. And I hate saying that to somebody. So, you know, if we can figure out the thing that works for us individually to help us remember, I think all the better.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and those are kind of the same strategies that we're teaching our kids too, right? Is how to be conscious of what's happening in their own mind. And that's different for all of us a little bit, you know, but for me, it's really somatic. You know, I get the somatic cues and that'll get me to snap out of whatever's going on. But some people we all need different strategies. So we're all different. So coming up with your own strategies, I think, is a great idea so that we can be more conscious in the moment and try to make a better choice. She has at the very end, she has like a next steps. It's just like a 3-minute video. And I did watch it, but I wasn't going to show it today. It didn't have much more than what she talked about today. The only piece that I really thought was valuable is that she talked about how this model is, you know, she calls it a model, but she's like, it doesn't really capture it. She's like, it's kind of more like a philosophy. And it was like, that's kind of what we're talking about with the model we run in our ED programs, the G.R.O.W model, is it's really kind of a philosophy, but then that feels a little weird too, because then it sounds like you're really just pulling it out of thin air and making it up and it's your perspective, right? But it's really based on evidence-based practice and best practices. And so she said, instead, now I'm looking at it more as a practice, right? As something that's drawn from evidence-based practices. Conscious discipline does have studies now that are supporting the use of it and the benefit of it. But she's saying it's really about a practice. So we're not going to be getting it right all the time. We can't expect to, right? We can't expect to always say the right thing. So we just need to be conscious of that. And then there's always a next time, right? But we're always learning and we're always trying to do better. So we have to have grace for our kids and we also have to have grace for ourselves.
Yeah, true. You said that watch, it's called Next Steps video?
Yeah, Next Steps. It's like 4 minutes or something.
Is it in what you sent me?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sad those are all ending, honestly.
I know.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah. I am too. It's been like a highlight of all this.
Well, you've been a great facilitator. I appreciate you opening it up for discussion at the end, and everyone else contributing. I've enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
glad. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you guys. I mean, this has been a gift for me.
How did this come about?
I was doing some research. So we run the G.R.O.W model, like I said, in our ED programs that I consult in across our county for the SELPA. And so in doing research for that, we used to run a model in there that was much more behavioral in nature, a points and levels system, and more consequence based.
Yeah.
And using, points to give students feedback, and then they needed a certain amount of points to earn reinforcement. And I've been working in these programs now for 9 years, and that just never sat well with me. And I really didn't see it helping the students to learn the skills they were missing in the first place. It just wasn't changing behavior. I just saw it more so disconnecting the staff and the students. And so in being able to be in this role and working on developing our own model a couple of years back, our director allowed me to kind of pull from what was working and then do some more research. So I was given that opportunity. So I came across conscious discipline when I was doing that research. So I was looking for evidence-based practices and best practice in this field. And that's how I landed on, actually I came to conscious discipline through the collaborative and proactive solutions model, which was developed by Dr. Ross Green. And I know Brianna had put that in the chat earlier, that's a really, really wonderful model as well to use with students. He is the author of the book, if you've heard of The Explosive Child. He wrote that book. He also has a bunch of school-based books, which I have. You can see the pile on my desk of books, but it's in here somewhere. He has a few books that are for the school. What are they called now? Of course, I'm blanking. If anybody else knows them, you can throw them in the chat box right now. But his model, Collaborative and Proactive Solutions, his website has a ton of free resources on it and lots of videos you can watch. It's Lives in the Balance is his website. And through his model, he recommends other models that he supports too, and conscious discipline is one of those. So that's how I landed on this model. And then I started watching some of her videos and I was just amazed. And she draws from a lot of the same researchers that Rosy and I draw from in order to create the G.R.O.W model. So like Dan Siegel, who's the guy who did the vagal nerve? I don't know. It's all the research that I put in that Padlet earlier. I can show you guys. So Lost at School. Thank you, Jane. That's the book that Dr. Green wrote, Lost at School. That's wonderful. And it really maps out the CPS model. And CPS is all about collaborating with the students and using natural consequences. So he gives you a whole process for how to have those conversations, how to assess the students' logging skills and under what circumstances they're presenting those logging skills, and then how to really get them to start talking about their perspective and what's getting in their way. And then it allows time for the adult to share their concerns as to why it's an issue for me as the adult. And then how can we work on this together? How can we generate a solution together? And it maps out that whole process. So it's really great. Thank you, Leo, sharing the one for conscious discipline.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then I can share the one for, this is where the G.R.O.W research is. So if you guys want to look, there's a bunch of resources there on conscious discipline and on CPS and a bunch of other stuff.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any thoughts, questions?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you guys for your
We're
participation.
always learning and growing. That's why this was so exciting. Is it's like, it's nice hearing you say, I was doing work with the point system and then I was thinking that wasn't sitting right with me. And I am like, I'm constantly, I get hard on myself, like, oh, why did you do that? And then I'm like, no, Katie, you're human.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward. At least you care.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and I think I always come back to, we only know what we know at the time, right? We're all doing the best we can with the information we have at the time.
Yeah.
But then once we have the new information and we've kind of opened up our mind and, you know, researched more, learned more, then we try to do better. And then that takes time too, right? And we need to have some grace for ourselves and others, like I said earlier, because it's a process, but always being open to, we can always learn new things. We're all in this field to help people. So,
Exactly.
and it's
We're
always,
doing
we're always learning more and more.
Hopefully we are.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully we are.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie.
May I just say a little thing before we
Absolutely.
go? I've been taking like tons of notes because that's how I learn stuff.
Yeah.
I went back to my very first thing that I wrote about like what it's all about. And it comes down to that connection. And I remember when she was going over how like when you're face to face, you do the touch, you know, you really make a conscious effort to connect. And at a time right now when we're being asked to be indoors, whether it's curfew or whether it's COVID, and we need that connection, and it's so vital that like I just want to encourage everybody to reasonably safely try and make those connections as best you can physically if it's reasonable, and then like over the computer, like maybe just think of somebody that you're like, oh, I haven't heard from that person in a while, let me try to connect with them and make that effort, because I think that's really important, especially with everything that's going on, to create that connection. And
absolutely, Amber. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I mean, it's important all the time, and especially now. So reaching out and connecting in whatever way we can right now is so important. It really does change things for somebody, for that other person who's receiving that. You guys are very welcome. Thank you for joining me. I don't know how I'm going to top this series. I don't think I can show it, but I'll keep looking for more and new materials.
Oh,
I'm sure that we're going to be doing professional development virtually in the future too. So
Alison, really quick, the first two that I missed, just because I kind of, I guess, got kicked out because we had too many people.
Right.
You got those that you can send us if we.
I sure do. You can actually, if you email me, this is Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Email me. Did you get my email?
I took a picture of it.
Okay. So email me, and just because that's the way I've been tracking it, and then I will give you access to my team on conscious discipline, and you can access any of the videos and watch them on your own time. You can rewatch them and watch what you missed, and then just let me know when you're done so I can share that access with the next person.
Okay. And then how do you know that we've done them? Do we just
It doesn't tell me. So that's why I need you guys to tell me.
Okay, so then email you back saying we've done the first two. Okay.
Yeah, email me back when you're done watching what you wanted to watch. And if I start getting a wait list and there's more and more people that want to watch them, then I may circle back to you and email you and just check in with you to see where you're at. But otherwise, I'll just appreciate it if you watched them, you know, as soon as you can within reason, and then email me when you're done.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Awesome.
That shortly here.
Yeah. Well, good, Jane. I'm glad this has been the silver lining to COVID, having this online PD. It has been nice just to connect with other people this way, as well as to learn during this time. So I'm so glad you guys are really seeing a lot of benefit. And when will the videos be available through the SELPA website? Gosh, you guys, I wish I knew. I am so sorry. I think, and when this all started, I was like, we're going to have this up and running next week. And then every week it's been like, nope. The most recent update is that the executive secretary in our SELPA office has all of the downloads for them, and she's working on organizing them and then getting them uploaded to the website through somebody else that's helping her. So that's a long way of saying I don't know. But I'm hoping it's going to be soon, and I will send an email blast to everybody to let you know when they're posted. You're welcome, Linda. Yes, Kathlena, in August. So we're talking about what we're going to be offering in terms of professional development. We're starting to plan that right now. So I know that the special ed directors have been given a survey, as well as a lot of other staff working in special ed have been giving surveys about what kind of professional development they want to see. I'm guessing that more and more is going to be similar to like with a lot of mental health needs, right? I mean, our students, if we do go back to being in school or not, we're going to see an increase. We already are seeing an increase in mental health needs. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of training, professional development around that, how to support our students, how to take care of ourselves in the process as well. So the answer is yes, there will be more classes. I just don't know exactly what they're going to be yet, but keep checking OMS. If you're not already signed up, you can sign up through our SELPA website to get an email whenever there's a new training that's you can get the flyers for the new trainings that are going to be coming out. So anytime there's a training, you'll get an email blast about that. So if you're not already,
if we're registered like how we're doing, is that's being registered
for upcoming trainings? Are you registered through our SELPA website? Do you get the email blast when there's a new training listed?
No.
So that's a different thing.
Okay.
Let me see if I can just pull it up for you guys real quick to show you.
I found mine at the top of the
exactly, Charmaine. It's at the very top. So
successful. Oh, okay.
Let me show you. Can you guys see that? So let's see. I think it's under professional development. OMS registration. There used to be just a link to sign up. Oh. Sorry, now I don't know where it is because they just redesigned our website.
Oh, cool.
It's blank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I don't know where it went. So that's where the OMS trainings are. But I thought that there used to be a link where you could sign up and it would just give you a blast. Does anybody else know? No. Yeah, I don't see it, guys. So I think for now, oh, here we go. I think is it subscribe to our mailing list? It might be this.
Your screen is showing blank.
Oh, it is? Shoot, resume share. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Sorry about that. Thank you for telling me. So here's our website. And then under professional development, I thought it was here, but that only just takes you to our OMS registration site, which is this. But if you scroll down to the very bottom of our website, it says subscribe to our mailing list. And I believe if you sign up here and put your email in here with your first and last name and subscribe, then whenever a new training is going to be posted, you'll get an email blast about that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you need, are we all, if we signed in, will we receive credit for coming? Or do we have to do anything else?
For your district, will you receive credit?
Yeah.
I do believe Jennifer Connolly, our coordinator, she's keeping track of that because Zoom logs everyone who logs in. So if any districts are asking for those, then we are providing that list to them, but only if they ask.
Okay.
So if you need something, Kathleen, just email me and we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just
there's no class tomorrow?
No. Oh, there is a G.R.O.W. We have our last day of our summit for our G.R.O.W. programs for the ED classes. We have the last day of our summit tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that's the last of our professional development series.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. I'm just looking through the comments. And Mary, can we invite non-SBCEO or district colleagues to view these? I would love to share with my Head Start co-teachers. Absolutely. I'm totally happy to share. I was thinking, why not? More than happy to share it with people outside of our SELPA or outside of our county. I don't think that's a problem at all. And they'll be, when they are posted on our website, they'll be posted for anybody. So happy to do that. Deborah, you're asking, is it possible to revise the evaluation sheet and make it a Google survey? It's kind of laborious to do the document every time. Fair enough. Also, because you guys have been doing so many of these, I will go ahead and check with him and see if we can do that. That would probably be a much better way of doing it.
For the registration,
Mm-hmm.
you know, mine populates everything. And
It
then I
what?
just, mine populates my information, maybe because I made an account.
Oh.
So somewhere it asks you to make an account or something
Yeah.
that I recall. And so I just click on that and it populates most everything. I think there's like one thing I have to add that it doesn't populate.
For the evaluation?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about when you register.
Oh, when you registered. Gotcha. Yeah, I think Deborah was referring to the evaluations at the end of every module.
Oh, gotcha.
I haven't been doing those.
That's okay. I mean, I know not everybody does. So if you can, I know it's just one of those, one more thing to do, but if you have the time, because it's nice in the sense that it's good feedback for us to know, you know, what's well received and what's not, and areas for us to improve as well. And we use that to share out with administrators too, as to what information, you know, how many people have accessed it, how they've received the trainings.
Can we go back and do them if they're still on our email, or do they?
Yeah, you definitely can.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can do that then.
Yeah. Yeah, Deborah, I think you're probably right. We get more feedback if it was user friendly. So that's something we need to improve. This is the first time we've done feedback this way. So normally it's just paper to pen evals. And yeah, Cindy saying one eval for the whole series rather than after each session. Yeah, I can understand that. That makes sense.
Because we get so many emails and blasted on our from
Mhm.
everybody that you have to literally, you miss so much because there's
so much,
and then there's also so many feeds of people replying that it's just hard to keep track.
Oh, so when you reply other people?
Yeah, like for all the other emails, like
right,
we're all part of a teacher group email. We get every email, whether it's for us or for other people, or so it just
then everything gets drowned out.
I probably get like 48 emails or so a day. Like,
jeez. Well, no wonder people have been having a hard time finding the links for the Zoom, because it's just drowned out in all these emails. That's good feedback. I'll pass that on.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Sally. Thank you for being here. All right, everybody. Well, I think we'll wrap up for today. I hate to say goodbye to you all, but I will hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful summer, as wonderful as it can be during this insane time. Please do take care of yourselves. No one's going anywhere. I'm here. So if you do come across some materials, you just want to, you know, talk about something, you want to access the conscious discipline modules, please do reach out. And Charmaine and I have been emailing a little bit too, just about future support in terms of if you have any cases or anything you want to consult on. And as the SELPA, we're here to, you know, help and support all of our districts and all of our staff. So if you have anything you just want to reach out for and have some questions about, I'm more than happy to do what I can. So you can email me, and my cell phone number is usually in my signature line. So I'm happy to help if you want to text me too. And I appreciate you all so much.
We appreciate you. This is a lot of work.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm happy to do it. You guys are the ones on the front lines here. So my hat's off to you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Take care.
Well, enjoy your summer.
Thank you, Charmaine.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
How do I get out of this?